Hello kids, welcome back to another new episode of New City Sunday School. This week again we're gonna have lots of fun, right? So are you guys all excited? Yes, I can't hear you. Okay, I hear a loud yes. Great, that's so good. Okay, to start this week's episode, I have a small task for you. You must be wondering what it is, right? It is the tongue twister. Okay, we're gonna do the tongue twister. You ready? Okay, this is the tongue twister. It is I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay? I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. We're gonna say this 5 times really fast. Okay, let's see who gets it. Ready? You guys are ready? Not sleeping, right? Ready? Okay, great. Let's get it started. 1, 2, 3, go. Ice cream, you scream, you all scream for ice cream. Ice cream, you scream, you all scream for ice cream. Ice cream, you scream, you all scream for ice cream. Ice cream, you scream, you all scream for ice cream. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Became all ice cream. I hope you guys got this. We can try this again at the end of the session. For now, I want you guys to go take up this week's quiz. Okay, come join. Let's do some warm-up. You know what is coming up next, right? So let's do some warm-up. Twist your wrist, okay? And then shake your hip. Rotate your hip. I hope you guys are doing and not watching me do, okay? Rotate your hip. Okay, neck. Done. Ready? Okay, you know why we did the warm-up, right? Because up next is the sing and dance. So get ready, okay, all of you. 1, 2, 3, sing and dance.
What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. Angels bow before him. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve.
much fun, right? I hope you guys also had fun doing that. Superb song. Okay, now you know what time it is, right? So I want you guys to go sit back, relax and watch this beautiful story. I'm sure you guys are gonna love this story, okay? Sit back and watch because it is story time!
Hey kids, welcome back to story time. This week we are gonna learn the story David defeats the Amalekites. What is the story name? David defeats the Amalekites. We saw last week how David spared Saul's life, right? Do you know what happened after that? Saul continued to be angry with David. Even after David sparing Saul's life, not once, kids, but twice. We also saw last week that David had a group of men with him, remember? Yes, David and his men continued to run for their lives from Saul. Now, David and his men were tired of running from Saul, camped at a place called Ziklag. The Amalekites raided Ziklag when David and his men were away, and they burned down the entire place. They also took with them all the women, children, and cattle. When David and his men reached Ziklag, they were shocked because they saw that the entire place was burnt, and their wives, daughters, and sons have been taken captive by the Amalekites. David and his men wept aloud until they could weep no more. David was so distressed because his own men now decided to stone him since they were so angry with David. What would we do, kids, in such a horrific situation? Let's learn what David did. The Bible says David inquired the Lord. Yes, kids. David asked God if he should pursue them. And if he did, will he overtake the Amalekites? He did not run to ask help from any man. Instead, he asked God. And God responded to David. He said, "Yes, pursue them. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue." Just as God instructed, David and his 600 men went ahead to pursue them. Since the journey was long, 200 of the men were exhausted. So David continued with 400 men. On their way, they met an Egyptian who was a slave to the Amalekites, who led David and his men to where the Amalekites had camped. David and his men fought them. None escaped except for 400 men. God delivered the Amalekites into David's hand, and he got back everything the Amalekites plundered. Nothing was lost. God gave back everything that Amalekites took away. Yes, little kids. Do you know what the learning of this story is? We need to strengthen ourselves in God. Even in times of uncertainty, in times of fear, in times when it is so difficult to even think strengthen yourself in God. One more time. Learn to strengthen yourself in God. And this week's memory verse will be, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. One more time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I hope you love the story. Yes, kids. Always learn to strengthen yourself in God. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, where did I keep that scissor? Where did I keep that paper color? Oh my god. Ria, Deborah, where did you guys keep my things? I can't find them. Can you please bring them to me really quick? Please do that fast because next is craft time. Kids, I hope you guys have got all your things ready too. So if not, go get them ready, okay? I will also go get all my stuffs ready because it is craft time.
Hello kids, today we are going to do memory verse frame with popsicles. Things we need for the crafters: 4 popsicle sticks, a plain paper, glue, a yarn thread, scissors and sketch pens if you have stickers. First, take a A4 size paper, write the memory verse on it. After this, let's stick the popsicle sticks as a border. After sticking this, you can cut it. Cut the frame properly. Now take the yarn thread and stick it at the back. Like this. After that, if you have stickers like this, you can paste it on the popsicle stick. And here is a craft.
Hey kids, welcome back. I hope you guys loved that story. That story was so good, right? We saw how David did not go to any men for help, but he ran to God. He asked God. He found strength in God, right? So you must be wondering, what am I gonna do today? I'm gonna illustrate how. If David did not have God with him, what would have happened? This is like David. We saw all the challenges that came across David's life from Goliath. You know, he had to face the giant Goliath, and then Saul became angry with him. Saul was like after him to kill him. And then we saw how the Amalekites raided the place where David and his men were, and they burned down everything. They took with them everything that David and his men had. Just in case if David did not have God with him and all this thing came across in his life, do you know what would have happened? He wouldn't have been able to stand any of it. But we read from the Bible that David found his strength in God, right? Let's see what happens when David's strength is in God. Okay, we saw how, God was like with David. He kept giving instructions to David about everything that David had to do. Like, God got David at the right time in front of Goliath. And then we saw that how God saved David's life from Saul. How Jonathan and his wife helped David run before Saul could do anything to him. And then we also saw that God was constantly with David. And in today's story, we saw that David ran to God always to find his strength, to find everything that he needed he found it only from God, right? And this God was with him in everything. And we also saw that God gave him victory in everything he did because he always found his strength in God. Now this is like God being in David's life, God was in David's life at every phase of his life. God was with David. Now in this situation when God being with David at every point of life, any kind of problem that came his way, be it Goliath, be it Saul, be it any kind of even the people of whoever David, even when they intended to kill David, he was so distressed. But because he found his strength in God, we see that he did not fall, right? He remained strong. Yes, kids. So this week's story, what was that learning from the story? Always learn to find your strength in God. One more time. Always learn to find your strength in God. And the memory verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. One more time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I hope you guys had fun learning the story, the sing and play, and the craft, and the small experiment that I did for you. Until we meet next week, take care.